Don't mind my language, and this isn't because of my Zionist handlers, and no one's paying me to say this, but I've been to Israel. It's a beautiful country, and I think of it like this. Say like Scotland got took over by a government that they elected, yeah? And one of their charters, because this is on Hamas. Hamas were elected as Palestinians' government, yeah? And one of their charters is the final day of judgment will not come until all the Jews are killed. So imagine someone took over Scotland, and their final day of judgment, and their charter said the final day of judgment won't come until all the English are killed. And then from that little land, they keep firing rockets every day, yeah? Boom, boom, boom. Because we're quite clever in England, we put a force field and we stop them so they don't do as much damage as they're trying to do. Because if they could, they'd massacre every English person going. That's the equivalent of what's going on, yeah? And it's been going on for a long time. And they continuously, it's like the perfect saying, if the Arabs put down their weapons, there'd be peace tomorrow. If the Jews put down their weapon, they'd be wiped out. Yeah, because that's what would happen. And I went to Israel and I spent time. And I went and spent time on Muslim refugee camps to speak to the Muslims without them knowing who I was, because I wanted to understand both sides. I travelled it for a week. Yeah, I went everywhere. I looked at the history because I talk about this issue. And I met time with Muslims and I asked them, who oppresses you? Are you oppressed? The Palestinian Authority was their answer. Not once did I hear the word Jews or Israel. It was insane. Everything I'd been told by my Western media, the mainstream media, it was the opposite of everything. Everyone I spoke to. So the Palestinian Authority, I said, what do you mean? He said, they've had nearly 3 times as much money as Germany had after the World War to rebuild. But this is a 4th generation Muslim refugee I'm talking to who still lives in a refugee camp without a bloody park. Nothing for the kids, yeah? Because the Palestinian Authority take all the money and they keep them in those refugee camps so then they can bring in the Western politicians and all the people and make them feel sorry for them. Because I felt sorry for them. I wanted to give them my money. I'm Tommy Robertson. I walked around there and wanted to give those Palestinian children help. Yeah? But they're kept in that position by the Palestinian Authority, who use them like pawns, fire rockets from their schools, hide behind women and children like cowards and bitches that they are. Okay? Hamas, that's who's in charge there. They're a terrorist organisation, the equivalent of Al-Qaeda. All these gays and all these left-wingers supporting them, they'd massacre you and throw you off the rooftop tomorrow, you morons. Yeah? So when I watch this is a war of civilised people, as in the people in Israel, yeah, and barbarians. And that's just to sum it all up, so simply, yeah? So I get frustrated by the Western media and the media who won't show us what's been going on prior to this. I just found out that when I was there, we went to a border sitting, and there were some Jewish people in there about 3 days ago, and they got massacred apparently with a missile. They're killed. Yeah? We don't hear about that. We don't hear about that. So what would you want your government to do? I want my government to protect me and take out these terrorists who are controlling major cities, who have bomb factories and missiles brought to them and all these different things. That's what I'd want. So there's my take on it, and that's going to piss a lot of you off. Yeah. It's got nothing to do with Jewish money, because I couldn't give a shit. Right? It's got nothing to do with anything. It's to do with looking at the place and looking and thinking there's 50